Welcome back to Joe's Astrology. We're talking Mars and Mars in Aries. And I'm looking at a book here to start us off. Mars in Aries will correlate to a soul that desires to break free from all kinds of past patterns and to begin the evolution of all kinds of new patterns. These new patterns will specifically evolve through the house that Mars is in, the house that the sign Aries is in, the planets that Mars aspects, and the houses that these planets are in. That's the formula right there. And then he gets into Mars in Aries correlates with an instinctual resistance to anyone or anything that restricts or attempts to restrict the necessary freedom to explore whatever experiences the soul deems necessary in order to accomplish its evolutionary intention. So Mars in Aries is freedom orientated because we have Aries being the ruler, having Mars as the ruler, and Mars in its own sign there. That's going to be particularly strong. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to act in this way completely in the life. That would be practically impossible for everyone, although that's a common experience for Mars and Aries. Mars in Aries will reflect a necessarily self-centered, narcissistic orientation to life. He likes to use these words, self-centered, narcissistic, for the fire signs, particularly Leo and Aries and planets like Mars. It doesn't necessarily always mean that it's negative, being narcissistic. Or I guess you could say if you don't not use that word and say self-centered or really focusing on the self for some reason. You know, it reminds me of that MMA, I guess it's MMA fighter, McGregor has Mars in Aries. Someone like that would exhibit all of this. Narcissistic, self-centered, desire to break free from all kinds of past patterns, freedom orientated. But see, there's a guy that's in a position that can do all that. He can be all that and get away with it. And that's why if you watch him, it's funny. It's kind of a show. There's a strong sense of having something special to accomplish, which also someone like him is doing that. But anyone who has Mars and Aries can have that feeling, or any of the fire signs, being someone, feeling like you're something special or someone special. These individuals can serve as examples for others to break new ground because they have an innate courage to do so themselves. The will is strong, the need to establish their own authority. Anger will occur when these individuals feel judged or controlled by external authority. So this could be like more in a smaller way. These people serve, as he says there, as an example for others in the community, maybe in your own family. Someone may see you acting in a selfish way and see that as positive. Like, that's something that I need to do because this person is sticking up for themselves. Anger will occur when they feel judged or controlled by external authority. You could say I have Mars in the first house, or I have a prominent Mars sign in the first as well. And that's how I feel. I get very angry when I'm judged by the external authority, particularly when they're wrong, or when I feel like they're wrong, or I've disagreed with them in some way. I don't want to be judged by people who are the authority, who I feel like shouldn't have the authority over me. Things like that. And of course, Mars and Aries people may run into a life where they run into that a lot. Fire sign, the idea of Sagittarius, being morally right, righteous, etc. Sexually, Mars in Aries requires independence. The sexual desire nature is defined by need for many kinds of sexual experiences with many types of people. Sexually willful and assertive, these individuals can also be quite sexually narcissistic. The sexual nature is strong, constant, and intense. The soul is strongly integrated into the body, and the physical sexual body becomes a primary focus within the consciousness. Now, you might think of like someone like Conor McGregor there as well. I think he's married. He comes from an Irish background. He's Catholic. So this all would probably apply to him, but then there's that Irish Catholic background putting him in this very monogamous relationship. However, the qualities that I'm using here, he probably still has, and he's choosing to get all of that under control, or at least the part about with many types of people, or he's already had many experiences with many types of people, and now he's over all that. They become powerfully stimulated and amazed at the intensity of sensation within the body and that is produced through sexual stimulation. They form quick and instinctual sexual attraction to others. The specific types of desires within this archetype are determined by the house that Mars is in, the house that the sign of Aries is in, the planets that Mars aspects, and the houses that these planets are in. So there's a formula to get more information about that in the birth chart. As their lives evolve, these individuals need to learn the Libran polarity. This involves learning that other people's needs and desires are equally as important as their own, learning how to treat others as equal to themselves, and learning how to freely give versus instinctively expecting to always be given to. That could be, again, that idea of the Irish Catholic going into a marriage. Conor McGregor would have been someone who's learned these lessons or is learning these lessons at some point in the life, and he's gone into the Libran polarity. At least that's what you would expect in a marriage-type relationship. Sexually, these individuals must learn how to listen to their partner's needs and desires in order to harmonize with them. So it's a pretty quick, short one. Me, I've known a few people personally with Mars and Aries, and I can see, I'll give you one example that's a little bit different here. This guy may be borderline autistic, but so early in his life, I don't really know if this is what happened, but this is a story. Early in his life, he was put into football. He wanted to do football, and they used to tell him to get in there. It was like a small town, rural area, and they used to tell him to get in there and tackle people, etc. And he would put his head down, which you're not supposed to do. And he would get hit. He would have a lot of head hits. Also, the other thing is, apparently he got dropped on his head. I don't know if that's true or not, but this is what his friends say, that he got dropped on his cousin said, he got dropped on his head as a baby, or something like that. And all these things put together lead to him having brain issues and whatnot. And you have the Mars, not that if you have Mars and Aries that you have these issues, but this is an example. And he was the type of person that he would get angry very easily. And when he got angry, it was just like, kind of like a disability in a sense. And also had a hard time controlling, early in his life, had hard time controlling his emotions and his anger and things like that. But then as he got older, he started to get these things more under control. It was it was less often that he got angry and had these episodes, and had relationships with other people, was in good relationships, etc., with women, and a very good partner to have, I think, as well. So you can see him going through that process. I don't really know many others off the top of my head that have Mars and Aries, but maybe you have some experiences. You can leave them down in the comments. And thanks for watching. Have a great day.